Welcome back to another episode of HealthCap Weekly Wrap.
This week, we're diving into a powerful mix of stories, some that shine a light on deep-rooted financial practices in senior care, and others that highlight innovation, compassion, and even pets.
From a revealing case study on how profit-driven decisions impacted a nursing home chain over 2 decades,
To a new PBS series giving voice to the nation's caregivers. Plus, we've got updates in MS treatment and how machine learning could help us spot depression and anxiety earlier.
and we'll finish on a heartwarming note. 2 resources from Mather Institute on how pets are making a difference in senior living communities, both practically and emotionally.
Let's get into it.
Our first story takes a hard look at how financial decisions can shape the care residents receive in senior living communities.
Yeah, this comes from a recent case study published in Health Services Research and Managerial Epidemiology. It follows a for-profit nursing home chain in California that operated from 1999 until it was sold in 2021.
Over that time, the owners used the business not just to provide care, but to extract wealth through things like self-dealing real estate, consulting contracts, and complex financial arrangements.
Right, and while those strategies padded investor returns, they also drained money that could have gone towards staffing, clinical quality, and resident services.
The researchers call this financialization. It's when profit mechanisms start to overpower the core mission of care. And in this case, it contributed to a pattern of declining performance.
And that's not just an isolated issue. The article points out that many communities, especially for profits, face pressure to deliver returns to investors. But when that becomes the priority, the consequences show up in staffing ratios, equipment, even regulatory compliance.
So why does this matter for us in senior living?
Because it's a reminder that financial decisions are care decisions. Leaders need to be vigilant about how capital structures, partnerships, and vendor deals impact resident outcomes over time.
It also underscores the importance of transparency, both for internal accountability and public trust.
Exactly. If we want to build sustainable, mission-driven communities, we need to keep financial stewardship aligned with resident-centered care.
Let's shift gears to something a little more personal: caregiving.
Yeah, this story comes from the upcoming PBS documentary series produced by Well-Beings. It's called Caregiving, and it premieres on June 24th. Executive produced by Bradley Cooper and narrated by Uzo Aduba, the series dives deep into what it really means to care for someone in today's America.
And it's not just numbers, though the numbers are staggering. Over 50 million Americans provide unpaid care for a loved one. But the series focuses on the stories. Real people navigating love, stress, burnout, and sacrifice.
You'll hear from adult children caring for parents, spouses supporting partners with dementia, even young caregivers who are still in school.
What's powerful is how the series connects those individual experiences to larger systemic issues, like workforce shortages, lack of paid leave, and limited support for long-term care.
And that's where it intersects with senior living, because we're often working with families who've been in these roles for years before their loved one ever moves into a community.
Exactly. Understanding their journey helps us build empathy and even rethink how we support those caregivers as partners in the care plan.
The series is also a great tool for training and community engagement. Hosting a screening night could spark conversations with staff, families, and residents about the emotional realities of caregiving.
It's a timely reminder that caregiving is the backbone of the entire aging ecosystem, and it deserves more recognition, more resources, and more respect.
Our next story explores how technology, specifically machine learning, is being used to support mental health screening in people with multiple sclerosis.
Yeah, the article is titled Screening for Depression and Anxiety in Multiple Sclerosis: Leveraging Machine Learning with Clinical Variables May Help. And it was published by MedPage Today.
It looks at how predictive models could enhance early detection of mental health issues in this population.
We know that depression and anxiety are really common in MS, much higher than the general population, and they often go undiagnosed.
What this study found is that by combining machine learning with existing clinical data, researchers could more accurately identify people at risk for these conditions, even before symptoms are severe.
And that's a big deal, because early intervention makes a huge difference in quality of life. treatment planning, and overall disease management.
While this study focused on MS, the implications go much further. It shows how AI could be a powerful tool in senior living, helping care teams recognize mental health risks earlier, especially in residents with neurological conditions like Parkinson's or early dementia.
It's not about replacing human care, it's about enhancing it, giving us better tools to support residents holistically.
And as technology continues to evolve, the communities that integrate it thoughtfully and ethically are going to be better equipped to meet the mental and emotional needs of older adults.
Our next story also comes from MedPage Today, and it focuses on a promising new treatment for multiple sclerosis.
Yeah, the article is titled, Tolobrutinib Benefits Non-Relapsing Secondary Progressive Multiple Sclerosis, and it highlights results from the Phase 3 Hercules trial presented at the 2025 AAN meeting.
Tolobrutinib is a BTK inhibitor, and what's exciting here is that it showed meaningful benefit for people with non-relapsing secondary progressive MS, a form of the disease that until now really hasn't had effective treatment options.
In the trial, participants taking tolobrutinib had a slower rate of disability progression compared to those on placebo. That's a big breakthrough, especially for older adults with more advanced disease stages.
And while the study was MS specific, there are broader implications here for neurodegenerative care in senior living.
Because we're likely to see more residents coming in with complex neurological profiles, MS, Parkinson's, post-stroke conditions, and innovations like this could directly impact how we support their independence and quality of life.
It's also a reminder that research into late-stage or progressive conditions is finally getting some of the attention and investment it deserves.
And the more we stay informed about what's emerging in treatment, the better we can partner with residents, families, and clinical teams to provide personalized, forward-looking care.
Let's wrap up with a story that brings some warmth and a few wagging tails into the conversation.
This one comes from the Mather Institute, and it combines two recent resources focused on the role of pets in senior living communities.
The first is a guide called Pet Tips for Senior Living Communities. It's full of practical advice for implementing or improving pet-friendly policies, like how to manage shared spaces, set expectations for pet behavior, and address resident concerns around allergies or safety.
And then there's the companion piece, an orange paper titled Pets and Well-Being, which dives into the research side of things. It shows that residents who interact regularly with pets, whether their own or through community programs, report higher well-being scores, stronger social connections, and even fewer signs of depression.
Together, these two resources make a compelling case. If you want to boost resident engagement and emotional wellness, pets can play a huge role.
And if you're thinking about starting or updating a pet program in your own community, HealthCap offers a sample pet program policy and procedure in our Resource and Education Center. It's free and available to everyone.
It's not just about cuteness. It's about purpose, connection, and comfort, all things that contribute to aging well.
Even communities that don't allow full-time resident pets can benefit. Therapy animal visits, adoption partnerships, or community mascots can all bring that same energy.
It's a reminder that small things like a furry friend in the hallway can have a big impact on quality of life.
And that's it for this week's HealthCap Weekly Wrap. Thanks for tuning in. We covered a lot, from the hard truths about how financial priorities can shape care quality in senior living to the deeply human side of caregiving revealed in the new PBS series.
We also explored exciting advancements in MS treatment and how machine learning could transform mental health screening for neurological conditions. And we closed on a truly uplifting note with practical insights on the power of pets to enhance resident well-being.
These stories remind us that senior living is about balancing complex systems with compassion, where leadership decisions, emerging science, and everyday connections all come together to shape the experience of aging.
You can find a link to all these stories in the weekly wrap on Angie's blog at healthcapusa.com/Angie's blog. And if you found value in today's episode, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's next. And if there's a topic you'd like us to explore, just let us know.
Until next time, take care and keep caring.